Hello and welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts, and today we got a very, very special show for you. Live from the Midwest Country Music Organization Award Show weekend in Okoboji, this is Jam Night, April 26, 2024. Enjoy the show. All right, y'all, we're back. It's Jam Night. We're joined now by Jesse Wilson.
Hey.
Jesse, you're nominated for the Maverick Award tomorrow.
Sir.
How's that feel?
It feels great. It's my second year in a row up here at the award show. This is my second year in a row being for the Maverick Award, and I hope we take it home this year. So
that's awesome, man. So you said you're nominated last year as well, so you kind of know what to expect. You feel like that gives you a little bit of an advantage?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it all goes by the stuff you put out in the year, and when it gets down to decision time, it's the members that vote. So if I get the respect of my peers, I'm so excited.
It's also who you know, ain't it?
I don't know if it's who you know. I don't know. The music speaks for itself sometimes.
I don't think you're wrong there, man. I love it. I'm a member myself,
awesome.
and definitely have voted for everything. A good friend of ours, Colin Donnelly from South Dakota, is also up for the Maverick.
Yep.
So this year he got my vote, but that's before I met you.
That's all right. I met
next
him
year
today.
You got a chance, man. Well, hey, we're all good people, and that's the great thing about the Midwest Country Music Organization and meeting everybody. But it's not just country music. You say you got a rap song.
I got one that's, I don't know if you'd call it hick hop or what, but I'm getting out there in the waters testing it, and it's called Mid Wild West. It's coming very, very soon. Stay tuned, y'all.
Oh, hell yeah. So we got new music coming from Jesse Wilson. Well, Jesse, we got a show called Love Noise on our network here as well. When you get that song, you send it to us.
Awesome.
We're going to play it for all our people and tell them a little bit about you. And
awesome,
then, you can share that with your people. And that's how the scene keeps growing, buddy. I really appreciate your time. I know you got to get up there and play some music. But everybody, that's Jesse Wilson.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we just heard from Jesse Wilson there. Next up, we're going to talk to Greg Huberty. We pick up the conversation talking about our good friends leaving Page Town, who Greg worked with this year.
I met them this year, the duo.
What's their name?
Leaving Page Town. And they're out of Minnesota, central Minnesota. And, they just met me last year at the award show. And then we started talking through the year, and they're like, hey, we want you to produce our next EP. So we started,
now here you are talking about it on a podcast while they're playing it in the background.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, man. Hey, thanks for jumping on the show. We kind of jumped over the introductions, but Greg Huberty is with us. He's a producer, and what does that say? Videographer.
Yep.
Okay, I thought it said vibe something. I was like, a vibe grapher? What's that?
It's
Oh, that's
genre.
awesome, man. So yeah, it says you're a country multi-instrumentalist, but it sounds like you also produce. It sounds like you do a lot. Tell us who Greg Huberty is and what he does.
Yeah, I guess, I started out as a singer, actually. So I was a singer for a lot of years, country singer. And then that kind of led me into songwriting, producing my own EP, and toured with a band around the Midwest. And then I got out of it, moved to Nashville, moved back, missed the Midwest. And all of a sudden I started getting calls from Midwest artists to produce and songwrite with them. And that just took off towards just becoming a producer full time. And then just for fun, kind of a couple years ago, I started buying some camera gear, and we've been doing music videos and stuff. So
nice. So you've gone from music and now into video and shooting music videos, and you're producing music. You got a studio?
Yeah, I've got a little home production studio in Sartell, Minnesota right now.
Awesome.
Yep.
Sartell. All right. What's the name of the studio?
No name or nothing. I just kind of I just run my thing as Greg Huberty is Greg Huberty Productions.
So what is Loud Cow? You both are rocking the hats. What's Loud Cow?
So Loud Cow's our video company.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, we got plenty of musicians that listen to the show and that we're having on all the time. So hey, now you know. Get a hold of Loud Cow Productions, I'm assuming, or something like that.
Yeah, we just got to go as Loud Cow Studios.
Yeah, I like it,
man.
I love it. Well, hey, now we got another connection, and we'll get some more music videos done. And
that's always fun.
Greg, so you guys nominated for anything this weekend?
Yeah, so we're nominated for content creators for Loud Cow, and then I'm nominated for Studio Engineer of the Year.
Oh wow! So you got a busy day tomorrow.
It'll be a busy day, and I have to present one of the awards also.
You're a big deal. So you got a lot to do with the show. Are you a long-term member of the organization then?
Yeah, I think it's been about 5 years that I've been with it. So I've been at every of the award shows except for the very first one. Yep, I got in right after like that year. So I
That's
love
amazing.
I love what the org is doing. So
Oh yeah, this is crazy. I'm brand new, so I just joined back
Okay.
in February, and I didn't
Nice.
even have a podcast then. But I knew my wife and I, we and you guys on the podcast are gonna hear this a million times, but we honeymooned here 2 years ago. So to come back was an easy decision, right? And I didn't even know I was gonna have a podcast and be doing this, Greg. So
Well, that's
how
congrats
cool!
to you.
And now we get to
Yeah.
do it, like we said, the synergy of the moment, and
Exactly.
how awesome to have you on, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Well, we just heard from Greg Huberty. Next, we're going to hear from Joe Flip. Joe builds oil can guitars, and he plays them pretty well, too. This was a great interview getting to know him from the Twin Cities. I give you Joe Flip. All right. Joe Flip, welcome to the scene.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, this is cool, dude. All right. What does it say here? It says you play the oil can guitar, Southern Rock and Americana. I'm in for this. We're going to
Yeah.
get a picture with that when we're done shooting here. But
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead
I
and
got a selfie in
tell
that
us,
thing.
tell our listeners more about who is Joe Flip.
Yeah, so it's the oil can guitar. My neighbor Mike was over a couple years ago, and long story short, we just destroyed a bunch of oil cans and gas cans and the guitars, and then we turned them into oil can guitars. So now that's the only instrument I play now most of the time.
We're going to need pictures of this for sure. Don't worry, they're coming for our audio listeners out there. We got pictures coming.
We have
Well,
pictures,
that's awesome.
we got videos, we got all kinds of fun stuff.
That's
floating
great.
around.
Well, yeah, I'm sure just being having an interesting instrument, it's like that one guy, right? Where
Yeah.
you're intrigued just because you've never seen it before. So what does the music sound like?
I'm kind of all over the place. I grew up really loving like the 60s and 70s classic rock and blues rock, a lot of blues stuff. And then kind of over the years, it just kind of melded into like, I guess Americana is kind of like the wild card genre now because it's kind of a little bit of everything. So it's kind of like blues rock, Americana, Southern rock, kind of all that kind of stuff vibe with the oil can guitar, lots of guitar solos. So if you like guitar solos, that's...
So is it all oil can guitar on stage for you?
Yeah, 95% of the time it's just
Right.
me and the oil can guitar in the band rocking out. Sometimes I'll switch a guitar here and there, but most of the time just the oil can guitar.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. So obviously you have a unique sound.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that just kind of comes with the territory, right? And you're coming in. You're playing a version of what sounds to me, I call my band modern gypsy rock. So we took the Americana and went maybe one step further and went, well, yeah, but we like to rock out, right? We like to have some fun, and I love what a guitar and a power chord can do, right?
So what is the gypsy rock? Is that like gypsy as in like cool scales of the solos or what?
I don't know. It's whatever you want it to be, Joe. I grew up on Grateful Dead music and doing that and
gypsies.
living a gypsy life,
Yeah.
right? So I think it spoke more to the lifestyle than
Yeah.
to the gypsy jazz or more of that. I really don't know what any of it means, and I don't think it matters anymore. Does it hit you? Does it hit you in the soul?
It's
right?
a good
when you
wild
listen
card
to
to
it?
throw in there. The gypsy.
Yeah.
The gypsy. You could do gypsy rock, gypsy soul, gypsy
Right.
funk.
Yeah, any of
And
it. I love it all, too. So I'm all over the place as well, man, and that's why I first started calling it rockabilly reggae funk. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's too much of a mouthful, man. We got to simplify a little bit here. And
Yeah.
I think we found something that we landed on. And it kind of plays off a little bit of the bell-bottom country that, Lainey Wilson kind of brands herself off after, right? And I was like, I listen to her. I listen to Jelly Roll. I listen to these people. And I was like, you're just storytellers. I'm telling stories, too, right? And
Yeah.
that's what's kind of leaned me more into leaning more country rock, right? I mean, my music has always been that, but I've never been one to embrace it and say, no, I am country. Until I
Yeah.
moved to a farm town with my wife and followed her back to the farm and was like, oh, no, you're country. You're country as fuck.
That's what my wife's saying lately too. Because when I was younger, I thought because I heard Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Led Zeppelin, and Clapton, and I was like, this is my jam.
Same, brother.
So
Same.
I was obsessed at like age 13. But not all my friends like top 40 music. So we sit around like bonfires and stuff. I was playing like bluesy stuff, but they didn't like it. So I was playing it to try to impress them, to get them to like it. So I was always trying to play bluesy stuff for people who don't like blues. So it forced me to kind of evolve more into that gypsy, like what you were saying, kind of that weird magical genre.
The magical genre. I love it, man. So are you a full-time musician up in there in the Minneapolis area, or what do you do?
I was like full time for about 10 years or so. I got a day job about 2 years ago, and that helped kind of balance the whole lifestyle and the work family life and all that fun stuff. So that's working out, but then now I'm like, I feel like I'm releasing more music. Like, I recorded a new original album called Home Sweet Home last year, and then this year just recorded a live album at a big venue we just played at a month ago. So now it's a live album will be coming out, and then I'm working on another new original album for next year.
That's amazing, man. So you're playing big venues, you're doing big things in Minneapolis. Well, we hope to get up to there with our band and with our artists as well, but we want to bring you down to South Dakota, man. We got some great gigs in Sioux Falls and Mitchell, South Dakota, so we're going to exchange some information and get you out for some shows, and yeah, just keep growing this thing, man. We're new members of the Midwest Country Music Organization and just loving the community, man. So thanks so much for being on the show and helping us grow the scene.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Found it.
Well, that was Joe Flip. He was up for Americana Artist of the Year, as well as this next artist, or group of artists, we should say. This is Breezy from the Indianies. Oh, yeah. I'm excited for this one, guys. I got Breezy of the Indianies.
Hello.
Dude, this is awesome. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on the show.
I'm
a little
excited to be
starstruck right now. So for our listeners, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Indianies?
Yeah, Indianies is an all-female country band based in Indianapolis, hence the name Indie Annies. Some folks get us
That was
confused.
clever.
I can't take the credit. That was my pal Rita came up with that.
Thank you, Rita.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Rita. We do a little bit of everything under the country music umbrella, and our original music reflects the diversity of our influences. Krista, lead guitar player and co-writer of all the songs, grew up listening to classic country, Hank and Merle, Johnny Cash, Waylon, and I grew up in the era of listening to Shania Twain. I was a big pop diva. I love Britney Spears, I love Christina Aguilera, I love Whitney Houston, and so it's fun to see the way that our influences kind of intertwine in our original tunes.
Yeah, well, half the artists that you named were inspired by the classic country artists, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the evolution of that. You should have seen my wife's ears perk up when you said Shania. She's one of the biggest Shania fans on the planet. We absolutely love her. Well, how fun. All-female band.
Yeah.
Speak about that a little bit. Are there challenges?
There have been. There's not a huge pool to choose from in Indianapolis, and we debuted in January of 2020, and we had gigs lined up, January, February, March. COVID hit, and we just didn't know what the future of live music was, and so a lot of the girls bowed out and said, we did our thing, but we don't know what's going on. I'm gonna focus on my own stuff right now. So rebuilding from that was really challenging, finding females to fit the bill.
So that's been a mission of the band. It's always been to be all female, right? So yeah, then to an already small pool of female musicians, now you're like, okay, now we just lost 3 of those, or how and starting over. Yeah.
So we let a couple boys hit things in the background for a while. And we're back to an all-female lineup, and we're real excited about that.
Well, that's what boys do best.
Absolutely.
That's so awesome. Well, I am just tickled. You're nominated this weekend, Americana Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
Your first nomination?
Our first nomination. This is our first year in the organization.
Awesome. Yeah, us too. We're brand new. We just joined in February, so I didn't even have a podcast when I joined. I knew I was coming here because I was like, well, awards show. My wife and I honeymooned here 2 years ago. So we have a special connection, obviously, to the Gardens. The last time I was here, I was piss drunk on my... Not tonight, though. Not tonight. We're just having a lot of fun, vibing with everybody here. And Breezy, you were a big part of that. Thank you so much for joining the show, and we'll be rooting for you tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, that was Breezy from the Indianies. We saw them perform Saturday night at the awards show. They were amazing. Now we're going to hear from another female MCMO member. Nominated for Video of the Year, this is Michelle Rose. All right. Michelle Rose, welcome to the scene.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Yeah, what an exciting night. This is just cool.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, we've just been listening to music, hanging out in the bar, and talking in front of some microphones. This is so fun. Welcome to the show. We've never met before.
No.
So for our listeners and for myself included, why don't you tell us a little bit about who is Michelle Rose?
Sure. So I'm from Stillwater, Minnesota, and I grew up singing opera, and then I switched to pop music. Most of the music I've made is pop. And recently I tried out country for the first time because my whole life people told me that I would be a perfect fit for country because of my voice and look, and I just gave it a try for fun after I started listening to more country music. And since then, I've also dabbled in some jazz and EDM, and I don't really have a genre picked out yet, but I'm just trying everything right now.
Right, nor should we. So when I first started out, I called my style rockabilly reggae funk. And then I decided that was too much of a mouthful, so now I call it modern gypsy rock.
Oh, that's awesome.
And while I've shortened the words, I haven't made it any more detailed than what it actually is. So how fun. An opera background. Are you from Stillwater originally?
I was born in Minneapolis, but I grew up in Stillwater.
What's Stillwater like? It sounds peaceful and serene, but is it like suburban Minneapolis, or is it out in the country? Is it?
Kind of all of the above that you just listed, depending
That's Minnesota,
on where
huh?
you are.
Yeah,
in
I'm a
the
South
city.
Dakotan, so even the geography of Minnesota is all new to me, and even where we're here in Iowa tonight in Okoboji and around here. So,
Oh, yeah.
how fun! So yeah, it's just so many of the people, especially Midwest Country Music Organization members, right? We all kind of are roots in country and rock music and stuff. And you're the first person I've talked to ever have an opera background. So how did you kind of get started with opera music? And yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
My dream was to be a pop singer since I was little, but I couldn't find any pop voice teachers in my area. And so my mom found a classical voice teacher, and I started training with her when I was 5. And when I was 16, she said, I really want you to start opera. I think it would be perfect for you. So even though it wasn't what I was originally hoping to do, I kind of fell into it, and I really enjoyed it, and I still sing it for fun sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I just sing opera for fun. That's a wild statement. That's awesome. Oh, so you were a trained singer from 5 years old. You've been taking lessons and trained. That's amazing.
Yes.
I had choir and stuff, when I was in, small grade school, and then I took it into high school. I think 9th grade, I kind of dropped out of the band and choir scene, which was a huge mistake on my part, but our program was going into the dumps too. So that's another story for another day. Maybe the next podcast we do together. But how awesome. So it's great that you never lost the love for it, even that. Because I know with kids who start sports at young ages and musicians that start, kids who learn piano early on, it just gets beat into your head and you do it that you lose that love for it. So how great that you never lost the love for singing, right? Even though you are classically trained. And well, how fun. So what are you doing now?
I'm currently getting my master's degree in songwriting from Berklee College of Music online.
Okay.
I got my undergrad degree with them when I lived in Boston at their campus, and that was in vocal performance, music production, and songwriting. So yeah, my songwriting master's basically takes up all my time right now, and other than that, I just travel a lot and try to record songs when I can, but that's kind of on the back burner until my degree is done.
Right. Yeah, your degree in songwriting. Okay. I've never taken a class in songwriting, but I've written about 40 songs, right? I wonder if one day I can get an honorary master somewhere. Maybe not from
I'm sure
Berkeley.
You can.
Maybe from Berkeley, Iowa. Is there?
I'm sure it's possible.
We're going to have to get you on the pod to talk more about the schooling and stuff. And just to have a master's in songwriting, and just that's so interesting to me because I am a backyard campfire strummer who's lucked out and been a little bit better than some of the other guys at just getting gigs, right? So yeah, you come from a totally different world, and I really look forward to getting to know you more on a future pod. And yeah, awesome. So are you able to study from home then for the master's program and not have to be in Boston, or do you live in Boston?
Yes, I live in Stillwater still.
Awesome.
And I have a little home studio where I do all my homework every day.
Yeah, that is
It's
so
perfect.
cool. I just love your story. I'm intrigued.
Oh, thank you.
I am so intrigued. Are you nominated for anything this weekend?
I am. I'm nominated for Best Music Video of the Year for my music video for my original song called Angel Eyes.
Awesome. Angel Eyes. So I think you're up against Brad Morgan, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, Brad was just on the show last week. We chatted. He played in Yankton last year, and we got to meet him and his wife. And I know that she had a huge part to do in the show this year as the coordinator. And we're new members. We've only been in the organization since February.
Oh,
We've only been
wow.
podcasting for less than a month.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
We're brand new to this, right? We actually have no idea what we're doing, although it looks like we kind of do. We're pretty good at faking it. We appreciate you sitting down with us today. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
Michelle Rose. Well, we'd like to thank Michelle Rose, Breezy from the Indianis, Joe Flip, Greg Huberty, and Jesse Wilson for joining the scene. We would also like to thank the Gardens in Okoboji, the Midwest Country Music Organization, and everyone who made the event happen. It was a joy to be there, and we can't wait for next year. Thank you for listening. Remember to go to patreon.com/thescenesd. Follow us on all your social media channels and make yourself part of The Scene.